While we want and hope that our children will magically start to listen as soon as we use the 3S skills, prevention tools, and direct instructions, the reality is that's not always going to be the case, although it is more likely than if you weren't using this toolkit. There will be times when your little one doesn't respond to prevention strategies and avoids following even the most perfectly delivered direct instructions. Sometimes the strategies and tools from the previous modules won't prevent a big emotion from being expressed, and that is completely normal, age-appropriate, and expected. There are times when we as adults are unregulated and want to, or do, cry, scream, yell, stomp, punch a pillow, or you fill in the blank. If we as adults can't be regulated 100% of the time, it seems unrealistic to expect our little humans with developing brains to be capable of such a feat. As a final tool to add to your parenting toolkit, we will turn to teaching or disciplining our children. I want to be clear here that my recommendation is to avoid any form of physical punishment or isolation, as it goes against what I've learned about the brain and development. I encourage you to wonder and reflect about your own childhood and potential experience of physical punishment or isolation. Was it effective in changing your behaviors, both in the short and long term? If it was effective, what are the feelings that you remember and associate with those interactions with your caregivers? When reflecting with caregivers about their experiences as children, they frequently report feeling a need to be compliant out of fear or to avoid a penalty. Most parents I work with have a desire to teach children how to control impulses, how to cooperate, and how to make sound decisions. Caregivers are often seeking alternative solutions because research has shown that physical punishment can beget children who are physical towards others, or create a relationship based on fear rather than mutual respect and security. When kids are sent to an isolated place, they usually don't spend their time reflecting on how they've committed a mistake while brainstorming positive solutions for next time, even if that's what we would like them to be thinking about. Rather, they're usually ruminating about how mean their caregiver was for putting them in timeout. This course, on the other hand, has already introduced many tools and will continue to provide ways of working towards building connection and collaboration between you and your child, even in moments of big emotions. Further discussion about the decision to avoid those strategies is beyond the scope of this course. And if you're searching for more information about why, I suggest checking out the further learning recommendations in the final module.
Your head hurts. Your head hurts.
I have seen in my own family and my work with many families from a variety of cultures and backgrounds that connection and reflection before and while using discipline is ultimately the best approach for both caregivers and children. It facilitates stronger relationships and supports development of secure and regulated humans. And everyone feels better when it's done this way. When kids feel angry, scared, anxious, mad, frustrated, disappointed, or even hungry or thirsty, they might respond in a variety of ways. This might look like seeking comfort from a caregiver, running away from a parent, clinging to a loved one, unable to accept support even when it's offered, or they may be unable to calm on their own. And they may respond differently at different times, even in response to the same stimulus. As we spend the time to seek understanding and respond as sensitively as possible to the child's cues, while building connection outside of these challenging moments too, the relationship builds and the child and parent feel close. The child seeks connection when needed and practices independence and autonomy whenever possible. In order to do this, however, we as the parent need to be in a place where we can be reflective and responsive. For some parents, this means that during a stressful moment, we have to take a deep breath, Remind ourselves that their big emotion is not about us, and that we can support our kid by imagining and wondering what it's like for them in this moment, and being curious about their experience.